I had some bizarre comparison to my accent like East Kentucky or Pennsylvania.
My name is Mila. I'm from Russia. Of course, sometimes people pay attention to my accent, but I tell them, sure, I'm Russian. What do you want? But I'm ready to face the prejudice.
Today's question on My Fluent podcast is, have you ever experienced accent prejudice? And we will be able to listen to different English learners from all over the world. But first, on our last episode 66, Speak English Fluently Through Gamification, we made an interview with Roberto from Italy, who spoke about an amazing speaking game.
By playing off the cuff 7 months ago, I took the courage to speak. No, I think that my fluency had a great advantage from it because I can speak freely. This is the aim of the cuff.
And on this episode, we are gonna speak about accent prejudice. It's kind of the learner's perspective. I like the idea to see and learn about the life of different language learners. And for that, I reached out to a lot of different language learners and wanted to know what they think about it.
My name is Ludmila. I was born and raised in former Czechoslovakia, Slovak Republic, now. Many years living in the US, I had many different experiences about the fact I have accent. People usually responded positive and loved my accent. However, I had some bizarre comparisons to accent like East Kentucky or Pennsylvania. Southern accent in US are just very hard to understand and sound very foreign to the foreigners, in my opinion. And when I feel that somebody has a problem the way I speak, my response would be, just because I speak with an accent, it doesn't mean I think with one. So there you have it. And now back to Daniel. Thank you.
Just because I speak with an accent doesn't mean I think with one. This one was great, really great. Thank you so much, Ludmila, for your contribution and many greetings to the Slovak Republic. And now let's visit Russia.
Hello, my name is Mila. I'm from Russia, so my mother tongue is Russian. And I would like to say something about accent prejudice. I have never experienced the thing like that. Of course, sometimes people pay attention to my accent, but I tell them, sure, I'm Russian. What do you want? But I'm ready to face the prejudice, to tell the truth. And if it's a native speaker, okay, let's give them a try to say a sentence in Russian and compare whose accent is worse. But if it's not a native speaker, why should I pay attention to words of a silly person? Because only a silly person cannot appreciate their own hard work. Because every person who studied knows how difficult it is.
Thank you very much, Ludmila, for your contribution with your interesting comment. And yes, we all know how hard it is to improve in our target language. And obviously, there are people who doesn't know and doesn't appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Joranin. I'm from Thailand, and my mother tongue is Thai. I honestly haven't been making fun from the native. It's people around me who's making fun of me. And honestly, I feel discouraged to speak up. My host brother didn't even make fun of me when I can't pronounce the word camera. He's even taught me how to say it right. But the people around me, they've been trained to believe that good accent equals good English. And bad accent equals stupid. That's why most people don't have a gut to speak out. Another occasion I found on YouTube is that there's a channel where two natives are talking together. I remember a guy saying like, I don't like when people say good morning, how are you, and fine, because I can know that their English is weak and I don't want to talk with them. I was like, dude, seriously? What a self-centered person. I disliked that video immediately and never let YouTube recommend that channel again. Speaking English is so simple that we've got to have somebody to help us misunderstand it. Speak today. Just speak out.
Thank you very much, Joranin. And please, guys, don't let them get you down. Speak up, as Joranin said it so beautifully. And it takes courage to speak up. So I absolutely recommend you to find the right people where you feel at home, where you feel comfortable, and consequently you will speak more and you will improve your speaking. And as a matter of fact, I myself, I had a lot of self-doubt if I really should start out with my podcast, and I am so glad that I did back then in 2016, because to be honest, I could really improve my speaking abilities, I think, and a crucial part is also the communication with all the listeners and with other learners. It is so interesting, and I want to encourage you to participate more often here on my Fluent podcast, to be honest. And I talked about this several times that I should have named the podcast our Fluent podcast. It would be maybe more encouraging to participate instead of my Fluent podcast, which implies sort of a monolingual approach. But it should not be a monologue, not at all. So, next up is Jack from the USA, who struggled a lot with his regional accent. But listen for yourself.
My natural accent from childhood was a very strong, distinctive regional accent, marking me as a New Englander, United States Northeast. When I first joined the Army many years ago and started traveling through the American South, I encountered quite a lot of prejudice and hostility because of my accent. I worked very hard at losing my regional accent over the years, until after I retired and moved back home. Now I am very happily reacquiring it.
Thank you so much, Jack, for your comment here. And finally, we all should bear in mind that our accent is our identity. I'm gonna say just a few things here before I wrap this up. So first off, I wanna thank you all for tuning in, and especially I wanna thank Jack, Joranin, Ludmila, and Mila. Oh, and before I forget, a big shout out goes to the Kangaroo English Facebook group as well, because all of the participants here were or are members of this excellent group. In a nutshell, it's a safe space for you to express yourself, where you can share tips and tricks for learning English and find a speaking partner. Without you, this could not have happened. And we should try to speak up, even though if we are afraid sometimes. Well, there are people who don't really mind about it, meaning they don't bother about their accent and they just speak. So, but I'm speaking especially to the more introvert person or maybe to the insecure learners. Just speak up. This is Daniel Goodson. Thank you. If you want to listen to more episodes, you can go to myfluentpodcast.com or just follow me on the common podcast services such as iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcast. And by the way, I am also on Instagram and Facebook. On Facebook, I am the creator of the group English Podcasts. So you may join as well and share your favorite podcasts with us. Bye! The music in the background is from Scott Holmes. The song is called Upbeat Part.
speak today. Just speak out.